Today we're making vintage Christmas tree decorations. Keep watching. I'm Brandy and this is Making It My Own DIYs. Welcome. It is Subscriber Appreciation Month, so take a snapshot, pause this, watch all the stuff, and listen to the video and watch for the clues. Good luck! And thank you so very much. Today we're making 5 blue ornaments, and they're vintage. I'm going to use some plaster chalk paint. Any white paint would work. A variety of paint brushes. You can either use metallic paints like this, or you can use glitter if you want to use glitter. I'm going to be using a little sander, whatever kind you have, and a variety of ornaments. These are thrifted. You see it's got some writing on it. This is the only one like this, and then I have 4 of these raw pieces. I'll show you the information later in the video. So a tree, a bell, a bauble, and this little star. And this beautiful piece of paper that I thrifted is what we're going to use for all of the ornaments. I've also got some little cutout pieces. This came in a Target pack. Threw the box away, so I don't have that info, but you can get little things like this at Dollar Tree. Just any type of little embellishment you want to put on yours. And there's Joy. You know I love that word. And there is Mary. We won't use all of these. I'm also going to use Mod Podge and a brush. You could use a glue stick if you would like, or a spray sealer. Then I am going to be trying out Rub and Buff for the first time in my life. I'm also going to be needing a squeegee. Okay, so I'm just trying to get an idea of everything's going to fit on here, and then I decided, you know what, I'm not going to center these little girls in the middle of every one. I'm going to move them around. We're going to get some variety. So there's the info there. Now these are thick, but you could also get the ones that you can get at Dollar Tree in the pack that have several in it, and you can do the same thing. For all of you ladies who like to fold up paper, if any of you are still out there, and save it, break that paper out because now you're going to use it. You saved it, so let's use it. I'm going to cut little pieces out, kind of roughly the size that I want. This is very, very rough, and it's got little chips all in it. What I should have done is taken some wood filler and just filled that in. Hindsight, right? So I'm just going to go over it with the sander over all the rough spots, make sure I don't get splinters, and make sure it gives us a smooth finish. Then I'm going to be painting this entire thing as well as the rest of them this plaster color. The reason I'm doing this on the wood is because there are places in that paper that is light colored, and I want those to really be the center of attention on the ornament. And once you put Mod Podge on and you put that, you glue the beautiful print down on there, it'll be a little darker. But I want it to be brighter because look how beautiful these babies are. They are so cute. I'm calling them girls, but you know they could be boys too. All right, they could be cherubs, they could be angels, whatever. After these are completely dried, you are going to, and be sure you paint your backs, y'all. I didn't do it, I'm saving time, but paint the backs also. You're going to take some Mod Podge and put a very thin layer on here. You don't want it to be goopy and all over the place, because if you do that, then it is going to make your paper wet and you will get bubbles and lines in it, and you don't want that, right? So you're going to put it on. Make sure you go over the edge as well. Make it nice and even. And then you can put the paper down and slide it. I'm feeling with my fingers underneath and my thumb to see where my edges are to make sure that they're fairly centered. I don't want to cut one of them's face, you know, right off in the middle and then have too much of the other one. So I'm just kind of feeling that with my hands. I'll use my squeegee and just kind of press out any little bubbles or wrinkles that might be in there. And this also pushes that paper down into the glue so that it will dry. After I do that, I'll just take my scissors and cut the excess off. Do you see what I mean about the lighter color, like in the wings and around the edges of the paper? If the wood grain was under there, it would take more of a yellow or off-white tone, and I wanted it to be bright and beautiful with the, you know, when you put it on the tree. So we'll set that aside and let it dry like we'll do each one. Then I've just cut a couple of pieces out to see which ones I might want to use. I think that I will put this saying on here, and I'm going to put it on like this. And no, it does not fit exactly on there, but this is something that you can kind of customize. We're going to make this our own, right? And I'm going to show you how, because I love this ornament, but I thought, no, what am I going to do with this ornament? How am I going to put something on there with all those little cutouts and stuff on it? There's a way around that. So I'm going to put that on there, and I'm going to, you can kind of drag it a little bit before it starts to dry. Pat it down and then rub the squeegee over it. You can use a credit card or a wooden ruler if you don't have, a little squeegee. I'm going to put that aside and make sure that it dries before we go any further with it. We'll take the bell, and I'm going to do the same thing, kind of fill my edges, cut off any of the excess that might snag and tear. I don't want to tear my beautiful paper. All right. I'm going to press down here and feel where that edge is and just holding it in place and cut those little pieces off. Now that also gives me a bit more of a template, so when I take it off and put that Mod Podge down, I can quickly put the paper on top of it and get it right in the correct position. And I'll just press that into place and use the squeegee to even it out. So what if you don't have vintage paper? You can use new paper if you want to. You can use, maybe you could use a calendar. Maybe you could use a magazine page. You just have to be careful about the black print if there's writing on the back of it. Then this one I thought would be cool to put just one of the girls and the verbiage on there. So we're going to do that on this tree. If you learned anything new so far in this video, if you're interested in what we're doing here, I would love it if you would subscribe to the channel. When you come over here to this channel, you are going to get lots of love and encouragement and details. And then you're also going to get so much love in the comment section. I have 90,500 subscribers right now. Can y'all even believe it? I'm so close to my 100,000 subscriber goal, and I couldn't do it without the love of all y'all. So thank you for the ones of you who have been here, just cheering me on along the way through all the bumps in the road. I appreciate y'all so much, and this month is the month that I have chosen to give back to everyone. So we are going to have a magic word in this video, and it's going to be tree. And then when you put tree in the comments, you're also going to need to tell me, do you use a live tree this year, or do you use a fake tree this year? Let me know those two things to enter for a chance to win a box of crafting goodies. Could be thrifted stuff, could be new stuff, could be some of my favorite things. Like there will definitely be a piece of this paper in there for you to use on your own projects. Who's excited? I know I am. On with the video. All right, so now I'm just going to trim this down as well, just to make it a little easier. And if you put it as close as you possibly can to that, you'll be able to spare some of your pieces and use them again. So now I'm going to take my little sander, going to go right around the edges and the corners. If you don't have something that is small like this and you have a piece that needs a little closer attention to the details and the cutouts, you can use an emery board like you get at Dollar Tree. A fingernail file. Some people just call them nail files. And you could use something like that to get into those little places. I love this. And now you can still see the white edge. And I'm going to give you some options also with the edge. I always like to tell you, you can stop here if you want. And you certainly could stop here if you want. But I'm going to give you other options because I want you to feel like when you make it your own, it's going to bring you a lot of joy. It's going to light up that Christmas tree. It's going to light up your heart every time you look at it. And these would be really nice as well to give as little gifts, or as maybe attach it to the top of somebody's, present. That would be a really lovely thing to do. And it's unique, It's unique. It's special, and it makes people feel special when you put a little more work into it. I love the little bell. So cute. So cute. These would be really pretty on a Victorian tree, I think. I don't think I've ever done a blue tree. And I wouldn't put this necessarily on a tree that's got a lot of blue on it. It would go perfectly well with a tree that has all kinds of ornaments on it. You know, we're gonna put some metallics in there and we're gonna make it look special. We're gonna make it look special. And then I really do think you can make this fit into just about any Christmas tree theme. You can use a variety of paints, a variety of papers, a variety of ornament shapes and sizes. You can do a lot with this. And you can see I'm just going a little bit slower, but I edited that out around each of those little areas. That is a micro sander that I have there, and I got it from TEMU. So they're really cheap, but you can also get these on Amazon. I'm pretty sure you can get them at any craft store. So it just depends on where you like to do your shopping. That sander gives you a nice, clean edge, so much quicker and more precise than using scissors. But if you don't have it, you can use scissors. You can also get little tools like this. They also came from TEMU, but you can get them other places, and you can use them to go in those little cutouts. But I decided, you know what, I'm gonna try to see if I can make this big boy go in there, and it worked. Worked perfectly. I didn't even have to use the little pick sander, I guess is what I'm gonna call it, because I'm not entirely sure what that thing is called, but it is a sanding tool. They're cheap. Even this little sander is cheap. You can just take the little sanding paper off of it and replace it. It's like a Velcro that attaches them together, and I've never had one come off, and I'm pretty rough when I'm sanding at times. So I'm very pleased with this as a tool, and this is how this one's going to look so far. Decisions. You see me thinking about it down there. So I've got 5 colors. 4 of them came together from Amazon, and then the other one I had to buy by itself, and that's the one I have in my hand now. It's like a bronze color or a coppery kind of color. Very pretty. We're going to start off with this one. Now, I told you before, I've never done this. I see a lot of people using their fingers to apply this. I do that later on, but in the meantime, I'm trying a bunch of different ways, because for me, you know, you try different ways until you find something that you like and that works for you. Look how pretty this finish is with the color of that little girl's auburn hair. That is so pretty. And it immediately changes the look of this ornament by having that metallic on there. It just ages it. I love that. But if you don't have Rub and Buff, because, you know, they're not sponsored my video. I'm not trying to sell you anything. If you don't have Rub and Buff, use any type of paint you want. That's why I showed you my Cracker Barrel paints. I think they were Cracker Barrel, but the little bottles of metallic paint, because I use those all the time. In fact, that's what I would be using right now if it wasn't for me getting these waxes to try. But we're going to try, there's 5 ornaments and 5 different color waxes, so I'm going to try all of them. Now, to tell you the name of each one, I cannot do, but I do show it in the video. I hold it up to show you, you know, what's what. So you'll just have to pause on that so you can see. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just so busy. It's that time of year. My kids are home. My daughter just got over being sick with the same thing my son had last month. It's just a mess. You know, it's just a mess. We all have busy lives, though, and I'm not trying to make up excuses, but I do want you to know I try to go the extra mile for you when I can. Sometimes I just don't have it in me to do it. And I really like the way that looks. Very, very nice for me, you know. Then I decided there's a lot of blue on here, but it kind of stands out. So I thought, let's blend it a little bit with that plaster paint. So I'm just going over the blue and just kind of tapping and dragging that down onto the little, I guess, rays of the star. So it's not such a sharp, distinguishable line. It kind of blends in a little bit better, softens the look, I guess. And I'll do that all the way around. Y'all, these ornaments, these wood ones, I got them from the thrift store. Yes, I got them at the thrift store, so, but I'm sure you can get these anywhere. I think they're from Hobby Lobby, maybe. Okay, so now I'm going with one of these gold colors. I think this is Grecian gold. Not entirely sure. But I'm going to use a different type of brush this time. And, you know, if my edges would have been a whole lot smoother, I could have used my fingers and this would have been perfectly fine. But again, hindsight. All right. So I'm just going to go over this. I want to make sure that the entire edge around the whole thing is fairly even. I don't mind if there are some areas where the white shines through because we want to give the impression that this is aged. And we can do that by different paint techniques and using different waxes. You see how I'm kind of smearing it and making it kind of messy around the edge? I love that. Okay, next one. We're going to try this one on our Christmas tree. And how do you like the way it looks like the little girl's looking at the words? Kind of like that. It's different, right? But it gives you a little more variety. Since we got that same pattern on there, it gives you a little more of a variety. All right, so we're going in with the next one. I'm giving this one a shot. And I like it too. I actually like all of them. They're all a little different. Some of them have more of a greenish tone. Some are a little bit warmer, but I like them all. I don't think I've met too many crafting supplies that I don't like. No, probably not too many. All right, so I'm going to go around this one, the whole thing. I'm not going to waste it on the back. Nobody's going to see the back. You could just paint that white and leave it alone. You don't want, that stuff's expensive. So you want to be sure that you use that sparingly. Okay, here we go on the next one. This one really was easy to put on. You see, just smear it on with your finger. I just smeared it on there and I rubbed it all around the edges, all the way around. And also there's a hole in the top here. If you don't want to use the original holes that are in an ornament that you get, or you could recycle an ornament you already have. If it's not your style anymore, you can redo it. You could just fill those in with some wood putty or some spackling, whatever you want to fill that in. So I decided to put a little on the top of the tree and a little on the bottom of the tree in this one, just for a different look. All right, now I'm down to, I think this is the last one. And this one, it has that kind of a greenish tone in it, but it's really pretty though. It looks like a very old penny to me, like an old penny that has no more of that bright, warm copper shining anymore. I started off by just doing the top layer with this all over the top of each one of those beautiful rays of light. And so this is definitely something you could do. These ornaments have like a lip around them. So, you could do different colors there if you wanted, or. But when I put this on here for myself, I thought, let's do the whole thing. I want the whole thing to be this beautiful color. And so I did. I wound up just doing the entire thing with this. If you don't like the metallics though, you could definitely do any type of paint color you want. Or if you like the wood, you could just stain the wood and use it that way. So many ways, my way of doing it might not be the way that you prefer, but it doesn't mean it's wrong. Just like you may do it differently, but that doesn't make yours wrong just because it doesn't look like mine, right? So many ways. Look at my hands. Yeah, I rolled in it. I sure did. I rolled right in it. What a mess. Then I'm going to take what's left on the brush and very, very lightly just smear it across there. Just to drag some of that color over and kind of blend it a little bit. And that's how that one looks. Very pleased with it. So now for these 3 pieces I decided to use, I'm going to use some Mod Podge. You can also use school glue for this. I'm going to put it on a soft brush and I'm going to put the paint over these little embellishments. The 25, of course, for the 25th of Christmas. For those of you who celebrate Christmas, that is what that is for. For those of you who are not aware. And then I'm going to use some of this really pretty, like aqua turquoise sort of colored sequins that I actually got at Dollar Tree in a 3-pack. I'm going to press that down and kind of tap some of it off. Obviously, if you leave it and let it dry, that's probably the better option. But I need to hurry up. I can't sit and wait and let glue dry, right? And then, of course, the thicker you put the glue on there, the more you're going to get the adhesion of the glitter on top of it. But I don't want to put too much on mine. I do go back over that 25 that we just did. I go over it a second time with more blue. It's a good glitter, though. If you're wondering how the glitter is from Dollar Tree, I've used the orange and I've used that blue, and I'm very happy with it. I mean, it's glitter. It's the same thing. Now for this one, I didn't paint it. I left it the raw wood color, and I'm putting iridescent glitter on this. So it is not white, it's iridescent. It almost just looks like it's frost, and that's all on top of that. Just a little sprinkle of sugar. This one, I'm going to paint it white, and this is an actual white acrylic paint. Thank you so much for coming by today and stopping by my channel, for choosing me to spend your time with today. It means so much to me. This channel is how I make a living. This is how I pay for everything I own, the clothes we wear, the food we eat, the cars, just everything. It pays for everything. And so I appreciate you, that you take your time to be here with me when you have so many other things you could be doing in this busy world, you know. So I didn't have to use paint on that one. All I had to do, well, I didn't have to use glue. All I did was use paint and then dip the paint down into the rest of that iridescent that was on there, so you could see the difference between the white and the wood with the iridescent paint. And then I decided to go ahead and just add some glitter on a couple of these ornaments. I'm going on the top edge and on the bottom where the trunk of the tree would be. And if you get it in a place where you don't want it, be sure you wipe it off before you put the glitter on, or you'll have glitter in a random spot that you didn't intend for it to be. If that doesn't bother you, glitter away, girl, shine on. So I'm just going to make sure that I get it on the bottom here too. Maybe our little tree is sitting down in the forest. Now I'm really sounding like I'm channeling my inner Bob Ross. Maybe our little happy little tree is sitting in the forest with a happy little snowflake. And we'll just put that little snowflake right on top of there. Happy little snowflake right in the center. Perfect. I like this. I like it. I think it does look very vintage. Very vintage indeed. All right. I am testing to see if I can actually glue on top of this wax, and so far so good. If you're going to put embellishments over the part that has wax, I do recommend that you maybe use a different type of glue just in case. But this, in my experience, is not going nowhere. It's still over there on the tree, and it has nothing is falling apart. So this is my second dip of that glitter. And I'm going to add a little bit of hot glue on the back and put this 25 on the bottom of this tree. You can use stickers too. If you don't have little cutouts like this, you can use stickers to embellish your ornaments. Be really cute that way. Then I decided on this one, let's go ahead and give this little angel, or this little baby, some iridescence in her wings. So that's what I'm doing. I'm adding some Mod Podge on here and there. And then I'm going to take that same iridescent paint, kind of sprinkle it on there, and look at that. Oh my gosh, she's so precious. Oh, she's so precious. Okay, so now I've got, you know, y'all know I collect these little beads and things that I find when I'm at Goodwill. I find little beads, I find little pearls and stuff like that. This that you see me putting on this star is actually some pieces I took off of a Halloween mask. It was like a jewel encrusted skull, and I soaked it in water and then plucked off these little pieces because I knew I could use these on vintage Christmas, and they are perfection. I'm just going to add these here and there on this ornament for a little extra. Like I said, you don't want to go this far, you don't have to do this, but this is just kind of keep your mind going. If you have some of those little strands of tinsel looking thread or ribbon, you could run that around the edge of each of these. That would be super cute as well. I like that. I think that looks pretty cool, and it looks like metal to me. Okay, now here are two little rhinestones, and I'm going to add these to the bell. One on the bottom and one on the top. Obviously, these are for indoor trees. If you want to seal yours and keep them forever, then you can also put a layer of Mod Podge on them once they are, you know, completely dry before you put your wax on them. I'm going to put a row of the flat beads on the bottom and then a flat bead right in the center, and these are sort of a pearly finish. I made it my own, y'all. Made it my own. Then I've got some of this this is like a trim of some sort. And I thought we would put this on the edge of this. It fits perfectly there. This is the first time I've ever used it, so this is the first time I'll actually be cutting into it. I put that right on top of that wax, but if there was any question, then you could always put it right on the top edge, and it would just sort of flare out just a little bit. It looks so delicate, and I love the sort of an ivory color with the color of that joy sign that's on there. I think they complement each other really well. And they're delicate, just like the little babies in there, the little angels, whatever you want to call them, cherubs, whatever you want to call them. I'm not telling anybody to, you know, just use your imagination, whatever you want to call them. And we'll go all the way around, and I'm not going to extend it up onto the top of that ornament. I'm just going to leave it that pretty color, and then trim off any of the excess, and then I'll straighten out my little pom-pom so that they lay flat. It's like a little thread pom-pom, I guess. Cute. I'm very happy with that one. And then I'll take a little bit of, this is just like a cotton rope or cord. It's very thin, and I'm going to use it to make a little bow to put right on the top of this tree. I did not find a ribbon that I liked. I had a white ribbon, but it just, to me, it didn't feel old. It was a little too crispy, if you know what I mean. So I thought that the sort of an ecru color or an ivory color in this worked the best. Here is my rickrack. It's an old rickrack. Love it, thrifted it. Wish I could have found all kinds of colors of it. And it is a metallic gold, and I am going to just cut off a section. I did not measure that. If I had to guess, that would be about 8 inches. I'm going to fold it over on itself and then make a loop and tie a knot. Pull that knot right down to the bottom without pulling it off the ends. And flip our ornament over, and see, now you can see that I didn't finish the backs of mine, but I know. It's going to drive some of y'all crazy. Clutch your pearls. I'm not going to paint them. I know it. I know. I already know. But I love y'all anyway. All right, so we got tag on that one, on this one, and then we'll just do this for each one of them. I like this. You don't have to. You can use hooks if that's what you want to do to hang those on your tree, but I think it does add a little something to be a little more convincing that it's old or vintage themed. And here are those beautiful ornaments together, and I hope you like them. I love them very, very much. Love making Christmas tree ornaments. It's an easy way to decorate. If you don't have a big house, but you are having a tree, you can really make your tree special. I have lots and lots of ornaments. I've been doing YouTube and had this channel for almost 5 years now, and I have lots and lots of different types of ornaments for you to use on your Christmas tree. So I am going to have a video linked for some more ornaments if this is something that you like to do. And I have also done other ornaments that are in these kind of a bluish aqua type color with a vintage theme. So just be on the lookout for that sort of thing. Be sure when you play the game that you are giving me the shipping address and everything within 48 hours, or it goes back in the pot for the next person. Okay? Thank y'all for stopping by, and I will see you very soon.